对于大部分的中文学习者而言，练习口语最难的地方不一定是鼓起勇气开口说话，而是周围没有中国朋友，连开口的机会都没有。所以这一期视频呢，想要跟大家分享一下我一个人练习中文口语的秘诀。从刚开始使用这个方法的时候，连一句话都说不明白，磕磕巴巴的，到现在可以很自信的用中文去介绍我这个博士项目研究成果。相信这一期的内容同样也可以让你的中文口语突飞猛进。身边没有母语者也没关系。Part number 1 of this system to improve your speaking by yourself. This technique is insanely effective for getting you to speak more confidently. Think of learning to speak Mandarin like boxing. Boxers literally spend like hours on end effectively punching air, doing something called shadow boxing. And that's way before they actually go out and spar with anyone. Now, to an outsider like us, that might not make any sense at all, but boxers absolutely rave about the fluidity, the speed, the muscle memory that this kind of training builds. In this analogy, shadow boxing is the equivalent of speaking to yourself in Mandarin, while sparring with others is the equivalent of actually going and having conversations with other people. Now, before you take this analogy too literally and go and get out your boxing gloves, there are two forms of speaking to yourself that I highly recommend. The first of which is what I call naming objects around the room, right? 抽纸、鼠标、显示屏、电脑、键盘。Exactly what it says on the tin. You literally go around and try and name as many things as you can in Mandarin. And when you come across something you don't know, you can make a note of it and look it up. Now, the second one is slightly harder, so I'd recommend doing naming objects around the room first. The second one is narrating your life in Mandarin. And this can start from things really, really simple, like 我要去个洗手间，我正在拍视频，我要关窗户。今天好冷啊，我得多穿点衣服，我得穿得厚一点。Like little things like this, right? You're not trying to impress anyone with your amazing Mandarin vocabulary or, your grammar accuracy. It's just a case of just trying to make the everyday natural things in life, the real life situation kind of Mandarin, become more automatic so you don't have to think about it. And once you do that, you'll find that this gradually grows over time, and eventually you're able to just live pretty much your whole life in Mandarin and think in the language too. Now, if you want some useful sentence starters and sentence patterns that I think will be really helpful for you in order to structure the way that you might go about narrating your life in Mandarin, I would recommend checking out the link in the description. Part number 2 of this system. This is a deceptively simple method that not nearly enough of us actually use. In all honesty, I regret not doing this earlier. If I were to learn a new language in future, I would do this pretty much from day one. And that is to imitate line by line. So what happens is you have a native speaker read out a sentence, you listen, and then you repeat. It's that simple, but it's really, really effective, as many of my students have told me. This will make you sound more natural, have better rhythm in the language, remember things better, learn chunks and internalize the things that are being said by native speakers that little bit faster. And according to my chunking Chinese students, it's quite fun and apparently saves a bit of tutoring money as well. Now, I've already kind of built this into my Speak Mandarin with Me videos and also my Chunking Chinese program. But there are many ways for you to do this yourself, a little bit more by like a DIY approach. So one of the ways you can do this is you can use Language Reactor's auto pause function. So it pauses after every sentence so that you have time to actually imitate what you've just heard. And as far as I'm aware, you can get that on Language Reactor's free plan. So you can definitely go and check that out if you want to give this a go with content that you found yourself. Alternatively, you can actually have a way of extracting all the audio and then editing it in Audacity to give yourself enough time, turning that into an MP3 file and just having that so that you can listen to it whenever and wherever and just imitate it as you go along. Both can work really, really well. So I'm going to demonstrate this with one of my Chunking Chinese videos. 我一般的上班时间早上8点到下午4点。是从早上8点到下午4点。中午有半个小时的休息时间。中午有半个小时的休息时间。闹钟我一般会定在6点半。闹钟我一般会定在6点半。 Now, while I'm finishing off imitating that video, let's move on to the next part of this system. That is recording yourself as much as you can in Mandarin. Make videos and podcasts in Mandarin, even if it's only going to be you and maybe, I don't know, maybe your friends or, your language exchange partner that ever listens to them or watches them. Why do I like this? Well, it kind of mimics the pressure that you'll be under when you have conversations with Chinese people. In fact, for some people, it may even give you more pressure than the pressure you'll be under in conversations. At least that's the situation for me. So believe it or not, although I've been making YouTube videos in Mandarin for a few years now, it still scares the life out of me speaking Mandarin to this camera. Even speaking English to this camera is a big challenge, believe it or not. And that's the thing. If you can speak Mandarin confidently and naturally to a camera, then I'm almost guarantee you that you'll be able to speak Mandarin confidently and naturally in conversation, because of the fact that it mimics that little bit of pressure. Now, if you want some more help with speaking Mandarin naturally and confidently, I would highly recommend that you check out my free email course. There's a link down in the description. So starting from today, I want you to try and do 3 things. We're going to try and make this really easy and able to be implemented into your routine. So first, I want you to spend 5 minutes a day just naming objects around the house. For example, today you could do the kitchen, tomorrow you could do the lounge, and so on. And if you're ready, try and say 5 sentences to do with your daily life in Mandarin out loud. So when you're about to go and do the cooking, just say 我准备去做饭. Or if you're planning to go swimming tonight, you could say 我打算晚上去游泳, and so on. Number 2, I want you to spend 10 minutes a day imitating line by line. If you haven't already, you can use my Speak Mandarin with Me videos for this. As you know, it's all the hard work's done for you in terms of editing so that you can do the imitation line by line. The third thing I want you to start doing from today is once a week record yourself speaking Mandarin to a camera. It can be about any topic. It can be as long or as short as you like. It could even be just a recording of, your conversation with a tutor or a language exchange partner. And this will help you see your progress over time and hopefully imitate that little bit of pressure that you'll be under when you have conversation. Now, as I said, guys, to help you out with the second one here, I would highly recommend checking out this video next so you can do the imitation line by line pretty much effortlessly without any more hard work on your part, as I've done it all for you. And I'll see you inside.